Hello friends, my name is Radamasu. Today we'll discuss about a topic, a stakeholder register. Friend, today's topic is very interesting and very important with reference to the exam point of view. If you're a student and studying project management in university, or you are planning to give exam of PMP. So friend, this is a very important topic with reference to the exam point of view. At least 5 to 10 questions will definitely be there in the exam of PMP or project management exam. So this is necessary that you must have to understand the concept of a stakeholder register or a stakeholder. Secondly friend, if you are a professional project manager and working in any organization as a project manager, so this is important that you must have to understand the concept of stakeholder, that what is the definition, what is the concept of a stakeholder, and how to deal with different multiple types of a stakeholder. Friend, this is very necessary that you must have to understand the importance of a stakeholder or stakeholder register, because with reference to project management point of view, the stakeholder is a very important topic. So friend, let's start. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell option as well, so that my new videos can reach to you. So let's start friends. Stakeholder register. Friend, the topic stakeholder register, this is a topic which is directly related to the concept of project management, and we will see this topic with respect to PMP or PMBOK project management body of knowledge. So the stakeholder is a topic which is directly related to project management. Now friend, what is the definition of a stakeholder actually? Who is a stakeholder? Friend, a stakeholder is a person who has a positive or negative interest in a project. First of all, we have to understand the concept of stakeholder. If you just see the term stakeholder, stakeholder means he has having some interest in a project. A person who has having some interest in a project, he will be considered as a stakeholder. Now this interest can be positive or this interest can be negative. What does it mean? For example, you are implementing an e-commerce solution for a customer, and you have to deliver that project within 4 months. So it's a project. Now as a project manager from vendor side, you are very excited and you want that this project should be delivered successfully. So now this person would be called as a, you are a stakeholder with a positive interest. You are a positive stakeholder. Another person from customer side, who is the fund provider or project sponsor from the customer side, he he has a great interest in the implementation of a project, and he want that this type of implementation should be completed successfully, so that it can facilitate their customers. So they are very much excited, very much interested that this type of implementation should be completed successfully. So friend, this type of stakeholder would also be called as a positive stakeholder. Why? Because they are having positive interest in a project. Another person is there friend, which think that if this type of electronic implementation or this type of e-commerce solution if become online, and if it becomes successfully completed, so may have he has to lose his job, or may company lay off him. So due to this negative thinking or due to that thought, he doesn't want that project should be completed. He has interest in a project. He want to know that what's going on, but he doesn't want that project should be completed successfully. Why? Because he think, he has a frame of mind that if this project completed successfully, he may lose his job, and he never ever want that this type of project should be completed successfully. So he is also a stakeholder, but he is a negative stakeholder. So friend, remember friend one thing, that stakeholder is a person who has interest in a project. This interest can be positive or can be negative. If it is he has a constructive interest in a project, he will be considered as a positive stakeholder. If he has a destructive interest in a project, so he will be considered as a negative stakeholder. Remember friend one thing, that as a project manager you should be able to identify the stakeholder frame of mind. This is very important with reference to the implementation of projects. Your mind should be clear. As a project manager, you must have to know that this stakeholder is positive and this stakeholder is negative, because if you don't know that what is the frame of mind of a stakeholder, you will not behave accordingly. Okay, now friend, stakeholder register. If you can understand in the stakeholder, we can talk about stakeholder register. Friend, stakeholder register, just think of a document like Microsoft Word document or Microsoft Excel document, in which you put all the information, relevant information related to the stakeholder in a Excel sheet, in a Microsoft Word sheet. So what is the stakeholder register? Stakeholder register is a project document that has information about the project stakeholder, like the name of stakeholder, his title, like designation, his role. Role means, like for example, project manager, project coordinator, project sponsor. Interest, he may have a positive interest, he may have a negative interest. So what is the type of interest he has in the project? Power level. Power means that maybe he is influential, maybe he is not influential, maybe he has a great interest in a project but he is not influential, he is not having any power. Requirements, which type of requirement he has for the project. Expectation, what type of expectation he has. Well, like for example, he has a very high expectations from the project, maybe he doesn't have any such high expectations from the project. What type of expectations he has in the project. Type of influence, what type of influence he has in the project. So basically friend, stakeholder register means that you have to make a Excel sheet, you can make a Microsoft Word sheet in which you can put all those types of information in a Excel sheet, so that you have a file, a project document in which you gather all the information related to the stakeholder and you can track the stakeholder properly. So it's a stakeholder register is a project document. Friend, what is the type, what should be content should be included in this stakeholder register? First of all, the stakeholder identification, a stakeholder assessment and a stakeholder classification. These three things should be included in the stakeholder register. Stakeholder identification means friend that uh, all the information like his name, title, role, contact information, means that email address, mobile number, so all these types of things should be mentioned, available. What is his role in the project organization? Like for example, he is a project sponsor, he is a project manager, he is a third party vendor, etc, etc. So his role in a project should be very clear. So first of all first thing first is that his identification should be clear, that what actually his name, title, his contact information, his role should be very clear. Then his assessment means friend that what actually he wants from the project, what is his communication needs, what type of expectation he has, what type of influence, what type of interest he has, what type of power he has in the project. So friend, and this is called as an assessment friend. Like for example, you meet with some person with a project sponsor, so you realize that ABC person has great power but he doesn't have any interest in your project. Okay, this is your assessment friend. Another person you meet in ABC company and you realize that this person has great interest in a project, he want to implement that project, he is great interest in your project but he doesn't have any power with reference to your project. Stakeholder classification means that friend, categorization or grouping of the stakeholder. Like for example, based on the power you can group the stakeholder based on their interest, you can group. For example, you can say that if there are 40 stakeholders, so you can say there are 30 stakeholders who are positive, and 10 stakeholders are negative. So based on that, on the interest, you can classify or group the stakeholder. Another classification you can make, like on based on power. For example, if there are 40 stakeholders, you can say that there are 5 stakeholders who are having great power, and 35 stakeholders who are having medium power. Let's say like that. So this is called as the classification of stakeholders, and based on the interest, based on the power, so you can, based on these factors, you can classify the stakeholders. So friend, thanks a lot for your time, and that's all from my side. I hope you like this video. If you like, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for your time. Thank you.